Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Alright guys, I saw a video yesterday. A few people have asked me about it already, and actually someone asked me about it while I was in the middle of watching it, and I was like, wow. But I'm going to take something very positive out of this video because Jason Genova actually said something profound. And I know a lot of people can be like, what, that's not possible. There's no way he said something profound, but he did. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the thing is, everyone saw it. It was Jason Genova admitting more or less what his drug stack was. And I think that's a shock to a lot of people. It was a shock to the people involved sitting there talking with him. And it was on Johnny Bravo's page. You guys can go check him out. He does some pretty good work. But Jason Genova admitted everything he was on, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of drugs. You know, and he was questioned about it, and he was like, look, I know how to write cycles for bodybuilding, okay? I don't need anyone to teach me, because people have asked him, you know, who's helping you with this? Where'd you learn this? He's like, I don't need help from anyone because I know how to do this. I know how to write these cycles. And, you know, part of the thing, this was an intervention for him, and part of the thing was that they were saying, well, look, and someone had asked him that. Look, what you did the other night, was that you knowing how to stack your cycles and handle this stuff? And he said no. And that's not the profound thing, because that was about the fact that he had said the comments about Rich Piana. You guys can go watch the video for yourselves. You'll see what I'm talking about there. That he said that he wasn't sleeping. And he had said a bunch of stuff about Rich Piana because he had been mad at him a little bit, and he didn't even remember what he said, and he didn't mean it, and he took it down after. And he felt bad about it. He knew it was wrong to say stuff like that about someone who was dying or that he thought was dead. And he said he hadn't been sleeping. He'd been up all night, and he's having serious anxiety problems. And they asked him, what are you taking for your anxiety? And he said, I'm taking halotestin. Well, for anyone who knows, halotestin is not for anxiety. Halotestin is an anabolic. And it has a very, very, very strong androgenic component. It's known for increasing drive and aggression. That's the primary purpose that people use this substance for. It increases drive and aggression. Alright? So you have someone like Jason who has his own set of handicaps, and he's taking substances in large, copious amounts, at least 6 or 7 different substances that can affect brain chemistry, can affect aggression. Alright, and he's got all his other anxiety problems with it. You know, this is not a good thing. This is not a good thing at all. That's an understatement. You know, and he was further questioned, you know, about the fact, he was asked, well, what are you doing with your needles? He said, well, I just wipe my needles down with alcohol, and I've been reusing them. Again, anyone here who knows anything about this stuff at that point, or anyone with any sort of basic medical background, is probably going, oh my god, this guy's reusing needles over and over and over. It's bad. It's real bad. And you know, the thing is, at a certain point you got to step back and wonder who's selling stuff to him. You know, who's selling stuff to him. This is, whoever is selling him anything is extremely inappropriate. Again, that carries a much higher, in some places, a higher level of criminal penalty to sell drugs, illegal drugs, to someone with any sort of mental handicap. That's another step up beyond normal distribution in some places. I don't know about where he lives. But, I mean, you're getting into a serious legal and ethical territory at that point, selling him all this stuff. And he had quite a bit. They showed pictures and stuff. They saw kind of his stash of what he had. He had a lot of bottles. So you have Genova, he's been using a lot of stuff and then reusing his needles, and, you know, and he admitted, yeah, I know it's not good to reuse needles, you're not supposed to do it, and, you know, and they said, didn't you have a problem with it? He said, no, I had a spider bite. And people, again, they go, Jason, don't lie to us. He said, okay, it wasn't a spider bite, it was a little bit of an infection from using a dirty needle, but the swelling went down and it didn't turn into an abscess, so it was okay. But yeah, it could have been bad. And he admitted that's not good, that he can't be doing stuff like that. We're using dirty needles over and over and just clean them with a little alcohol. I mean, people can get seriously hurt that way. That is extremely unsafe. Extremely unsafe. I mean, worst case scenario, people can die from doing that. I mean, granted, it's relatively rare for someone to die from it, but it does happen because it can get a very serious infection. It could go septic. I mean, or they could get blood poisoning. You know, I mean, that's really serious. And the thing was, when he looked at it and he sat there and he said something. He said something that was so profound. I went and talked to Brittany about it. I'm like, Brittany, you know what Jason Genova just said in a video? And she stops and goes, wow, that came out of Jason Genova's mouth. She goes, he's smarter than Jerry Ward. So yeah, she's responsible for the title of this video. She goes, he's smarter than Jerry Ward. Because what he said was, I'm putting all this stuff into my body, all these different drugs, and doing this to myself, trying to get a plastic trophy. I'm doing this to myself. This many drugs into my body, trying to get a plastic trophy? Just a plastic trophy. Because it's just not worth it. In this industry, in the fitness world, in the bodybuilding world, that's a very profound statement. And it's someone said it who a lot of people would very much say has some mental handicaps. He has some problems. Yet he just made a profound statement that hundreds and hundreds of bodybuilders out there, and even some YouTubers, can't even comprehend. They don't even grasp that. I mean, perfect example, Jerry Ward. People say, well, Jerry's backed off on something. Look how many years it took him. 20 years? It took Jerry 20 years to be as smart as Jason Genova is. It's just a few years. I mean, and people say, well, Jerry was more calm. No, he isn't. Jerry doesn't run shows. Jerry placed dead last at his last bodybuilding show. Trying to earn a pro card, he placed last. Now, keep in mind, people say Jerry didn't use all. Sure he did. We've seen his doses. I had shared his public cycle, his private cycle he had shared with me at one time after a disagreement he and I had. I shared it. That's a lot of gear for a guy his size. It's a surprising amount. Now, this guy done this for 20 years, and it finally took him 20 years and him getting older and all these people dying before he finally says, oh, maybe this is not a good idea. You got Jason Genova can realize in his head and step back and see what he's doing to himself and go, I'm doing this for a plastic trophy? It's not worth it. How many other guys out there? Rich Piana, Dallas McCarver. They had to die. They never realized it. These guys died from all their drug abuse, or they realized it. How many guys are out there who are hurt and they keep doing this and they keep doing it for a plastic trophy? How many guys out there on 2, 3, 4 grams of gear chasing a plastic trophy? Chasing a plastic trophy. You guys doing that, stop and think on that. At this moment, Jason Genova is smarter than you are. Jason Genova is smarter than you. He's smarter than Jerry Ward has been for the past 20 years. To step back and say that and go, this isn't worth it. You got some of these other YouTubers been doing it for many, many years. Like I said, you take Ward, perfect example, 20 years. It took him 20 years.
Still last place.
Still last place, yeah. 20 years of abusing his body before he steps back and says, you know, I should probably quit doing it. And it was never, and even some of these other guys changing their stance now, it was never because, hey, they realize this is hurting me, this is bad. No, they waited until other guys around them started dropping dead for them to step back. That was their motivation. It was never, oh man, I'm really killing myself. Look at some of these other guys who still clearly abusing a lot of gear right up here on YouTube. Cali Muscle. He won't be around long though. Mike Rashid, all these other guys. They're abusing this stuff. Genova's smarter than they are. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for people who even take advice from people like Ward. Well, you just saw evidence that Jason Genova is a deeper thinker than he is. Can make more profound statements than he is. People want to take advice from the guy? That's crazy. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.